Well, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, who in the world is this guy and what has he done with Kyle? Yes, I shaved my face and I look a lot different when I do that. In fact, I regret it just a little bit because I look so much younger, kind of look like a child. But hey, it is what it is. But let's move on to more important things. What should be our response to family conflict? I'm sure there are all kinds of things that we can do in the midst of family conflict, but I just want to point out one thing that Psalm 3 in particular teaches that we must do when we experience conflict. So you'll notice that this psalm has a title, a Psalm of David when he fled from his son Absalom. Now, having this title, I think, is an advantage for us because we really are able to pinpoint with accuracy the historical circumstances that are behind the psalm. So it is clear then that King David wrote this psalm in the midst of a very trying time within his family and his kingly life. So David writes this passage while he's suffering as a father. You read of his son Absalom, in fact, leading a rebellion against him in 2 Samuel 15. And we learn from David in this psalm the value of prayer. So here's the lesson. A life filled with conflict should be a life filled with prayer. Psalm 3 verse 1, O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no salvation for him in God, Selah. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. I cried aloud to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy hill, Selah. Well, there's always going to be those individuals that will like to come along and suggest that prayer is really simply just a believer's form of escapism, right? It's a denial of the reality that only we can do something about the predicament that we'd find ourselves in. But we see here that David is not in agreement with such nonsense. What is David's response to the greatest conflict of his life? Well, he gets on his knees and he prays. I think some of us, we're so paralyzed by grief, we're so filled with anxiety over the conflicts of life that we never even think about or even make time really to talk to our Lord. Sometimes I find myself in a corner, just kind of trying to map out how to deal with the conflicts of my life. All the while, I've not even talked to God about it. Do you ever find yourself in that same boat? What do you substitute for, "O Lord"? Instead of praying, what do? Or who or what do you turn to? You see, David in this passage, he calls the Lord his shield. What is your shield today? Do you depend upon a financial shield? Do you depend upon another person maybe as your shield? Or are you your own shield? Or do you turn maybe to strong drink as a shield? What do you do instead of praying, "O Lord"? Well, as you can see, David, he has no substitute. In the midst of his terrible conflict within his life, he cries out to the Lord. And he cries out in relation to his foes. So his foes, whom we know are being led against him by his own son Absalom. I wonder what kind of family conflict you're experiencing on this day. Maybe it's not family conflict, but it's some other kind of conflict. Well, I suppose you can get counseling to talk it out with someone. I suppose you can read books about conflict. I'm sure there are a lot of things out there that maybe could help. But I tell you, if David teaches us anything, it's that a life filled with conflict really should be a life filled with prayer. Well, if you've been helped by this video, please go ahead and just smash the like button, because that will push this video out to more and more people that can truly be helped by it. In fact, if you want, you can just create another YouTube account and just smash the thing again. That would help push it out even more. So do whatever you're going to do. But if you have been helped, just smash the thing. And thank you so much, and God bless you in the way.